Welcome back to the channel. We've got a rust base build today, something a little different than what we normally do on this channel, but it's something that I'm trying to get into. This is a design I've come up with. I've been doing a little bit of kind of testing in my own time, trying to come up with something simple that's ideal for a solo duo, trio group, or maybe even a four-man that aren't that bothered about creating a crazy base, and something simple that they can even kind of build on themselves and edit to their own kind of likes and wants and needs in each wipe that you've got. So I'm going to get started anyway with the build. I'm going to try and go step by step for you guys so you can follow along as if I was playing my own wipe, to not overcomplicate things. But as you've seen from the base showcase already in this video, it's quite a cool base design, got a lot of storage opportunities, but a lot of opportunity for growth as well, like I say, so you can kind of tweak it to your needs. But yeah, let's get started. So we want to start off with some triangle foundations here, and we're just going to start off by 2 triangles like this, and then we're going to start off with a little square foundation like that. We're going to wall that off, ceiling that off, and we're going to get our hammer out and we're going to upgrade to stone. We immediately want to try and get a door down quickly, obviously, if we were playing an actual wipe. So let's get a door. Craft that up. Obviously you can place your own wood door down. I'm not going to bother with locks, but obviously you would need your own lock if you were playing your own wipe. Let's get a tool cupboard and let's craft that up. And then what we want to do is we want to get this in the corner, so we're going to hurry up and try and come up with this. There we go. So we've got it nice and tight in the corner, and then what we want to do is come outside, do your standard kind of foundation on the outside. Oh. Like so. There we go. And we get half wall up, and then another triangle floor. Open this door. You might have to pick your door for this, but as you can see, I don't have to. And then there we go. We've got a little 1x1 summit to kind of start off with, and we immediately, what we want to do now is get another foundation down. And what we'll do is we'll remove this for now. We'll get another foundation down, and we get some walls down. So we just kind of mirror what we've already built on the other side. Get that graded. And then we'll get another double door from here. And then we also want to upgrade this, and you want to try and do this as quickly as possible. Get your airlock on, that way you can keep the base secure. Here we go. And then just go and put a door on like that, and there you go, you've got your 1x1 already with your airlock. Let's upgrade this to stone, and then we'll get some boxes placed down in here. So you might want to pick this door up in your own wipe once you've got your airlock done, whilst you place your boxes. So I'm going to just remove that quickly, and we're going to get some boxes going. So let's get some storage box crafted up. So we'll get some small boxes, and you'll want some large boxes too. And what we've got to try and do is squeeze these boxes in as tightly as possible. Let's see if we can manage this. Now you might experience some difficulty, and what might make this easier is if you rotate this wall, it will give you more room. As you can see straight away, we can already fit that box right in there, and then you just want to rotate that back as so. Nice little building trick for you guys there, if you didn't already know that. And then you want to just get some small boxes in. Now you can sometimes get 4 boxes in. If we rotate this again, we'll try. But sometimes it's a bit hit or miss, sometimes you struggle. So if you can't get the 4 boxes in, you kind of have to settle for the 3. But as you can see, there's a bit of a gap there, so I'm going to see if I can just that in any tighter, but it's going to be difficult. See, we're left with a little bit of a gap, but that's a bit smaller this time. And then we can tuck this one in nice and tight because it's got enough room to fit in the gap before the wall frame there, the double door frame if you like. See how I can't fit that other one in there, but sometimes you can fit 4 boxes in, so maybe you guys know a little trick to make that a bit easier than I do, but I just stick with the 3 boxes like that. And then what we want to do is we'll place a small box here so we can see up there, and that will make sense in a second. We want to get our double storage box there, and then we come back and we stand on the small box so we can see down here again. This can get a bit tight, So what we might need to do is we could try rotate this wall. And there you go. Rotate it back. And then we can get our small box in. And then we can just pick that up. And then what we want to do is get our double door back on. So this is a great little start for you guys. And then we've also got this other room to work with now, which is great. So we can put a workbench in there if you like. So let's go ahead and craft up a tier 2, because there's no need to faff about the tier 1 in this video. Let's go ahead and get that done, and then let's get some boxes underneath here as well, like so. Try and get them packed in tight. There we go, we can fit 2 small boxes underneath there. And what you can also do is, you can put a large box in here if you want, but you may struggle to access both boxes here, so let's see if we can. There we go, and we can access both boxes, so kind of down to personal preference I suppose, how easily accessible you want your boxes to be. But we can go ahead and try and squeeze in more boxes here. So what we'll do is, the game will let me, so we might want to try and open this door quick whilst you try and line up your boxes nice. So, and this will change later on in the base as you progress to a tier 3. So as you can see, you've got 4 small boxes here. This way we can still easily access these boxes too. You could maybe fit another double box, like a large storage box in here, but this is kind of the design I'm going to go with to start off with. And obviously we'll close that door, and then what we want to do is make a campfire. Like so. And then we want to go ahead and get another door down, don't we? And that way we're fully secure now. No one can kind of get to all our loot just by one door. This is a great way to start your wipe. Once you progress that past this point, you want to go ahead and try and build out some more of the rest of the base. So I'm going to show you the rest of the base now. So again, what we want to be doing here is mirroring what we've done on the other side essentially. Get this upgraded. We'll start off with another loot room, like so. We want to get a little shelf in here, so we'll go ahead, do that, upgrade that, and then we'll get rid of this for now. And then this is where you're going to have a jump up, so what you want to do is upgrade it like so. There we go. And then we're going to want to come down here and build out 2 foundations, triangle foundations like that. Upgrade those to stone to make it easier, and get yourself a little floor triangle like that, and upgrade that to stone. This will later become our main door into the base and our main jump up through here. But as you can see now, we've got a little bit more room to work with. You can go ahead and put another ceiling here, and then you can even go ahead and get yourself some door frames down here. You can upgrade the other one. There we go. And we can go ahead and get another 2 doors down to make it a little bit more secure. And then you can then fill this out with boxes like I'm going to do in a sec. Or to make it easy for me, I'm going to go ahead and change all of these now to garage doors, because this is kind of the next step you want to be going in your wipe, to make it a little bit more spacious for you, and you can just fit a bit more in, and overall it'll feel a lot more comfortable for you once you get these down, as I'm sure you know. Do that, and we'll get another garage door in here. I'm just going to open all these doors to make it easier so you can kind of see everything as it progresses. But yeah, and then immediately what I'd say after you do this, you want to go ahead and do your next loot room. Now this one can be a bit tricky as well. So what we want to do is come in here. You want to line this box up and try and get it as tight in that corner as you can, so that we can hopefully, like this, fit another double box back here. This can be a little bit tricky, But if done right, there you go, you can line it right up like that. And then we should be able to fit another large box there. And if you do it right, like this, you'd be able to fit another small box there, a small box there. And that way, you can fit that small box. You should be able to reach the large box at the very back. There you go, large box there, and a small box. And then you could either replicate this on top, but it's a little bit awkward to reach that back box if you do it on top. So what I like to go and do is go ahead and put a little ramp up there, go up like that, upgrade it, and then we can just have some nice easy access boxes, kind of line it up as best you can. You might have to jump up on here to line this one up, because it can be awkward, as you can see. There we go, and that should hopefully do the trick. There we go. And if we can just try and line up that one, and then we should be able to reach, yeah, there you go, your large boxes and your small boxes, like that. Cool. Now we've got one main loot room there, another loot room with our TC. We've got a little crafting room, kind of some more boxes. Got plenty of storage for a solo or a duo right now. Even a trio, really, depending on how your wipe's going. But I would say at this point, this is really where you want to be thinking of upgrading to the next tier of the base, because obviously you're kind of going to want to full flesh it out in its final form soon. So we'll go ahead and go up like this. And what we really want to be doing is thinking about Honeycomb as well, and the overall security of the base. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and actually, before we do that, we'll get our Honeycomb done. That way we can fully build the whole base out. So let me just quick show you. So you want to triangle out all of the squares, and then the gaps in between the squares too. Obviously, like normal Honeycomb, I'll just show you from above what that looks like. So now you can see the full kind of build out, and we also want to get a triangle foundation on that one. Let me show you now, just in case. There we go. So you can see we triangled out in between all the gaps in between the squares, and then obviously the outer sides of the squares. And then we can now go ahead and upgrade all of these, because we're going to do our Honeycomb. There we go. All upgraded, and we want to go ahead and wall all these out. Easiest way to do that is go up above, that way we can kind of see every triangle we need to do. This way we can't get raided easily on the side of the wall, someone's going to have to try and climb up. And then that's where we'll then go to progress and do the main doorway. Stop people jumping on our roof and splashing the whole roof with rockets or anything like that. Come over here, let's get the building plan out. Let's wall this one off. Get a little triangle ceiling on that. Wall this one off. Triangle ceiling. Wall this up, and then we can just see it now. There we go. Maybe if you're a duo, have your duo watch over you whilst you do this, obviously. Stop you getting shot off the roof. But now we've built all that out, obviously we're honeycombed, so no one can kind of splash damage from the walls or anything like that, or come up with a C4 and blow straight into our TC. A little bit more protection. Now to build on that, realistically what we want to be doing is building out our main doorway now. So we'll go ahead and do that for that extra added protection. Go ahead and get a door. Craft that up. Cool, there we go. And then if I could jump up here, that'd be great. I'm just going to fly out because apparently I'm trash at the game. Sealing that off. And then let's go ahead and wall this off now. So we want to go wall there. We want to also, ooh, we forgot a bit of the honeycomb here. Let's do that. Very unprofessional of me. Got I was still in fly mode there. Right, let's go ahead and wall all this out now. Just to properly protect our loot. Because at this point in the game we've got a little bit of loot, and if we get raided at this point it's going to be really annoying and we're going to have to start from scratch again. So we don't want that. Let's get all this upgraded stone. Done. Oh. Now we've got a little entrance and we come up and we've got a nice big floor plan to kind of build with here. And we come down and we've got all our loot down here. And we can also fit some more boxes under here if you like. I'm going to kind of show you what I would do. But feel free to implement your own loot rooms. I'm going to put a nice simple one because what I will do is put a nice little shotgun trap down here for any intruders as well later on. And that way we've got a nice little loot room there and we can put a little shotgun trap up here. Shoot any intruders. Let's go up here now. Right, okay, what we want to do next is wall off all our honeycomb up here. Extra security into the top level before we build it out fully and start storing more stuff up here, like more of our loot. And getting some lockers down, that sort of thing. Did forget one of the walls here actually, let's just remove that. Hopefully you don't make that same mistake as me. And we're going to make sure this soft wall is facing that way as well, because we're going to kind of try to think of the TC. We've got a TC right under here, right? So theoretically we kind of want to make it as strong as possible, stop people making it easy for them, so that way they can't soft side their way to the TC kind of closer. Say they blow in here, they can't soft side all the way round and then they're straight to the TC. And that's what we want to be thinking of there, that kind of thought process. And then we wall that one up as well. Cool, and then you want to try and get up and do your ceiling, so you could just make a little twig jump up quick, so you can reach up here and just ceiling them off, like so. Cool. Let's wall these ones off. Like that. Make sure you upgrade it. Then I'll just jump back up. Find your ceilings down. There we go. And then let's get the rest of our ceilings done. To properly seal this base up. And then we want to get triangle ceiling. Let's get this all upgraded to stone. However, try to think about if you would like roof access here. So because we've got a jump up here, you could also build another jump up. So what we're going to do is wall that off. So I'll show you what I would do if I was to do jump up, but obviously feel free to kind of implement your own design. I would literally just go ahead and do what we did on the other floor. Like so. So this way we can jump up from the top, come up here, and then go straight to the roof if we like. I'll build this out. Just a nice little box here with a door frame. And we'll go straight ahead and door that off with a garage door. Cool, so now we've got roof access if you want. Feel free to just roof it off though. Personal preference. I would go with roof access just so you've got that option. Say someone's door camping you, we can come up here, shoot down on them or peek down. And because of the angles here, we can kind of get nice angles down on the door and stuff like that. Let's go ahead and open this up then. We'll go back down and we'll get some double door frames in. Actually, before we do that, we want to get some shelves in. So do this and let's do that. Cool. And then just thinking we will also do this one too. And there we go, we've got a nice little shelving set up, we've got a nice roof access, and we've got our main loot downstairs. Like so. Then what we can go ahead and do here is some furnaces down. if you haven't already. Craft that up, and you can line these up nicely up to. Now previously to this, depending on how quickly you want to build the base up, you could also put some furnaces in here, kind of lined up back here, or you could even get rid of some of these boxes and place them down here so you can get your metal doors set up quickly. Kind of personal preference again, and that's probably what's so good about this base. You can kind of make it your own. This is just a shell essentially for you guys, and I'm kind of showing you what's possible for the interior. Now we've done that, we can go ahead and set up some more loot rooms. So we'll get our boxes like so, and I'll cut back once I've built the loot rooms out and show you. And there we go, there's our loot rooms built up. As you can see, similar design to what we use downstairs. We've got some garage doors on it, and make sure you're kind of facing them on the outside bit so the roll is here. That way it will block the chest from being looted from outside the door. If you put it on the inside, some of these boxes might stick out slightly. Obviously raiders can then just grab whatever's in them, so you know, just a little bit more secure, helps to compartmentalize your loot off if you like. Yeah, so now we've got loads of loot rooms, loads of space to store all our stuff, and we kind of want to think about next stages of the base. So obviously for security, what you want to go ahead and do here is put in some more door frames. So go ahead and get some more garage doors built in. There we go. We'll go ahead and get this door in as well if we can. There we go. Cool. How about that? Now, if you want, you can even add a nice little storage box there, just for a little drop-off point. So when you just got quick loot drop when you're kind of off fighting people, you quick drop your stuff off. Maybe have some spare bullets in there, grab them, quick go out, keep fighting. And then what we'll go ahead and do is jump here. So now we're secure. We'll go downstairs, make sure all our doors are in. Yeah, all our doors are in. Cool. So now we kind of want to think about going from tier 2 to tier 3 here. So what we'll do is go ahead and remove that, remove this, remove that, remove that. All of these, pick it all up, and let's get ourselves a tier 3. Workbench, cool. Workbench level 3. There we go. Let's go ahead and crack that down. So you want to try and line it up as far back as you can there. Let's come a bit off the wall, and then let's just try and get it right against the wall. Try not to go too far like me. And let's get our box tucked away nice and tight in there. Now what we can do is a bit more of a loot room going on here. Now we can put 2 boxes in here and we can have a gap. That way, use our thing, and if we look down there, we'd be able to reach the small box. There we go. And it's a little bit hidden, so if people are raiding, they might miss that. So you could keep some nice little valuables in there, keep your sulfur in there, that kind of thing. And then we want to get our campfire back down if we can fit it in. There we go, and it tucks in nicely there, doesn't it? Oh, and now we've got a nice little solo duo trio base, if you like. And we've kind of got a tier 3 roll in here. Our furnace is upstairs. Now, some little modifications you could make to this base, if you like. You could knock this wall out here, and you could also build out on this, like so. Now you could put electric furnaces in here and then window it off if you like, a little shelf. You could get 6 electric furnaces in there if you want, which would also create space here. Or you could also go ahead and put some drop boxes in here if you like, kind of jump up here, not falling off. Get a drop box there. You could even fit another small box next to it if you like this. And line it up nice. Cool. Even more drop box loot there. Just overall more storage in the base. Or you could go ahead and get a locker in there if you'd like. Or just add it as honeycomb. Completely up to you, I guess. then what we want to do here is kind of utilise this space as well, because I don't like having dead space in a rust base. I think a rust base should be compact. That's how I like them. So let's go ahead and get a locker off one of them bad boys up. We can slide one in there, also slide another in there, and we also want to go ahead get some beds down, I guess, if you haven't already. But if you haven't already, I think you've got some bigger problems going on. And I'll show you. So there's one bag, two, and we could, if I go over here, easily fit a third down here. And if we go up here, we could fit some bags in here if you wanted. So like I say, solo duo trio, but if you really wanted to, or even like as a nice little starter base for you guys to kind of go under the radar, you can fit another bed in here, I'm pretty sure. There we go. And then you can also fit more beds up here if you want. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've got for you guys here. Go out and show you the overall profile of the base. As you can see, quite minimalistic, doesn't look anything too crazy, but it's also better than a crappy 2x2. It's going to take a little bit more thought process to think, how do I raid this? Do you know what I mean? People could splash straight into your loot rooms here. So what you're probably going to want to do is upgrade these to metal as soon as you can. Sheet metal these up, because people are going to figure out kind of you've got loot and main boxes there. Or you could honeycomb it if you really like, especially if you don't have a roof access. You could honeycomb this up, or build another level, totally up to you. And we'll also want to sheet metal these up, obviously, like so. That way they're all secure from being splashed up above. You can then armor all this up if you like. You may want to armor this up, but if someone does raid in, they are obviously, if you make this full HQM, they may try to blow straight through. Even though it's going to be expensive, they might kind of get the idea that your tool cupboard is there. So it's about being smart and maybe bring that straight to sheet metal. Totally personal preference, but again, you could armor it all up depending on your riches in your wipe, how successful you've been. And then I'll go ahead and show you the overall cost of this base. So those are the general build costs of the base, obviously with the upgrades I've made there. If you were to upgrade, obviously, to full sheet metal, kind of down here, or I'll tell you what, we'll sheet metal this, and we'll HQM this out, just so you can kind of get an idea of the cost. You're going to also want to try and HQM that out, so I'll just remove the box. And you want to armor that up. I would suggest armoring all ceilings just to stop them splashing every loot room you've got with, you know, minimal rockets. That would be my advice anyway. We'll go ahead and shoot this up. Shoot that up. Let's all turn to metal. You could sheet metal these foundations. I wouldn't worry about it too much, as they don't really directly affect anything. I would say you could definitely spend that metal somewhere else in a better place if you like your wipe. Accidentally deleted the workbench there, but you get the idea. And then I'll go ahead and show you the cost. And there you go, there's your cost there. So you'd need 8,600 metal frags, 113 HQM, 9,850 wood, and 22,285 stone. It's a rough little cost for you guys there. But yeah, that's all I've got for you guys today. I hope you like the build. If you like this video, please drop a like below. Maybe drop a comment below how you would improve this base, what kind of ideas you'd come up with. Maybe you'd add a bunker if you'd like. And also comment below what you'd like to see me do next. I'm willing to make more base builds, try and come up with better, more complex things if you'd like, depending on the demand. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.